Hello. All right. So let's talk about transferring from weight loss into weight maintenance. So I had a coaching call yesterday with a client who has a specific weight range she wants to fall in. And she's like, I heard you mention on a podcast if you are thinking about settling in at, say, 140, you may want to go down to 138. You may want to put a couple pounds in between. And do you think that's necessary or a good idea? And it really comes down to, where do you want to maintain? If you want to maintain 140, then yes, probably going down to 138 would be a really good idea. And here's why. I've been on my weight loss here for about 11 months, getting back to the low end of my maintenance range. I took a 2-month maintenance break, March and April, due to the COVID pandemic situation. What's very interesting, if you look at my graph, when I did that, my weight almost immediately shot up 2 pounds and then it leveled off. For most people, when they go from a deficit to maintenance calories, they're consuming more food volume, and you're replenishing glycogen in your muscle tissues. You're probably going to retain a little bit more water, so your weight will naturally go up. And most people freak out, and this is why they don't do maintenance. They see the weight go up. I wanted to be 150 and now I'm 152. Oh my gosh, I got to keep dieting. No, what it is that's a normal part of the process. So when I went to maintenance for those 2 months, my weight did go up 2 pounds, but then it leveled off and it stayed there for the 2 months. And then when I decided to go back to a deficit, the 2 pounds came back off and I proceeded to move down. So it's a very natural part of the process. So 1, don't get freaked out by it. 2, kind of expect it. But if you go, I'm not really super stringent, I don't really need to be exactly 150, or I'm fine with hanging out at 152, then you're totally fine. Go to 150, go to maintenance, see where your weight settles in at, and that's your maintenance, right? But if you feel like, okay, I really would like to be closer to 140 or 150 or whatever the number is, then yes, taking an extra 2 pounds off will adjust for that water, glycogen replenishing, and the extra food for most people, okay? So I hope this information helps. You don't have to do any of it. It's totally up to you. And really, for most people, what they're looking at is habits changing over time, activity changing over time, and finding a weight you're going to settle in at. And so if that's 168, it's 168. You don't have to do anything. You just do your actions, you do your fitness, and you maintain 168. If you're somebody who is trying to get into a certain weight range for whatever the reason, then doing that one little additional step can make it a little bit easier for you once you do switch your calories up. And of course, I'm currently right this second not tracking calories, so I really don't know how that's going to look for me when I do make that transition. But if you're talking about somebody who is eating at 1,500, they go up to 2,000. That's an extra 500 calories. It's like an extra meal or a couple snacks. So there is going to be a weight fluctuation on the scale. Please do not get freaked out by it. Don't decide I'm not going to do this whole maintenance thing. Really just push past that. And for most people, it's going to take a couple weeks for all that to balance back out. But when it does, you're fine. So don't get too worried. If after that initial weight regain, you notice that week in and week out in Happy Scale, and by the way, everyone should be doing their weekly weight average, not the day-to-day number, right? We've talked about that a lot on our videos. So if you're doing your weekly weight average, and every week after that initial water regain, you're seeing your weight is going up, a quarter of a pound, a third of a pound, something very small like that, you're probably overshooting your maintenance a bit, so you may want to dial it back. If you are still losing after that a couple weeks, and that may happen too. Sometimes people go up to maintenance and they may drop a little bit more. That very well can happen. And then what you do is you say, okay, let me try maybe bumping my calories up. If every single week I'm losing, a quarter of a pound, a third of a pound. Me, I was dead on, once I got past that initial water jump, but I had done it many times before. So I've had that practice. So I would encourage you to play with it, see what works for you. Remember the most important thing, if you want to maintain your weight long term, the habits have to be dialed in. I hope you guys are enjoying these videos. Please like and subscribe to me on YouTube. You can even set little alerts so you know when a new video comes out. I'm turning out new content daily for you to kind of give a little sanity in this whole weight loss venture and to help people make better choices so they can get to their goals and stay there. Please feel free to share the videos, and I will talk to you soon.